Back here where we belong.
Yeah, buddy.
What is up, everybody? Welcome into the Winners Lounge. Presented as always by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Use promo code DMVR when you sign up. Dev, how'd we do?
A full sweep.
A full sweep?
A full sweep. Yeah, we don't lose. We don't lose.
I lost my parlay.
Well,
you know why?
You didn't listen. That's why.
No, I did listen. You were in on this parlay with me. 9 points for Bones
Me
instead
too,
of 9.5.
man. Me too.
9 points.
I just needed one free throw.
Devlocks hit, and everything I said hits.
I should just listen to you.
We should just listen to Dev. It's a true for gambling, but also just in life.
Yeah.
I did hit the other bets, though. Thank you for those. I got you, man. Nuggets get this win. It was a much-needed win. 113-109. It was anything but pretty. I'll tell you, my lingering take was came away very unimpressed with Charlotte. Like, that was... I called this was a game where it was like Denver has to play well. They did not play well tonight. They did get the win on the road. So, second night of back-to-back, I don't know. But at least Denver got the win and set a new franchise record for most road wins in a season. We're going to talk about all of that. And to help me, I've got Superstar Dev.
I think that was a good – I'm not going to say it was a great game, but it was a good bounce-back type of game. I feel like against the Thunder, it was like a little too close for comfort. That was a team that, they're still a team that has aspirations to make it to the playoffs. So they still were desperate. And while Denver didn't play great and they were in second gear for the entire night, they still won the game and very comfortable, I feel like.
You say it's very comfortable. I was very uncomfortable. And we're going to have to – I guess we'll have to debate this. You're right that I felt Denver was the better team. Same with Oklahoma City. I felt like Denver was by far the better team. But comfortable – I was not. Over here, I got Brendan Vogt, though.
Fun fact, though, they did cover on the road.
That's
After
right.
all that.
Fun fact.
Vegas
you're right.
always knows, huh?
Vegas does always know. We're like, yeah. I don't know. I thought it was going to be more competitive because I thought Charlotte would be more competitive. But, Charlotte was very unimpressive tonight. They had a bunch of Bartons running around.
Dude.
We have to get into it here in a second.
Not touching that.
No, nobody's touching that one. Do you guys want to go to the fast breakdown?
Yeah, the quick recap even?
That would be a better name, the fast breakdown.
Well,
don't you, Phil?
Here's the graphic.
Fast breakdown. Fast breakdown. There we go. I think I like it. The quick recap, as Eric calls it, fast breakdown as I call it. Here we go. Aaron Gordon. You almost forget that this happened. This is crazy. Aaron Gordon dominated the first quarter, and you almost would forget because he kind of disappeared after that. But he was everywhere to start this game, most notably in the paint, going at the rim, trying to get, muscling guys, dunking it through contact. He was incredible. That was a near perfect quarter for Aaron Gordon. Monte picked up 2 fouls right away, which kind of made for a weird... there was some weirdness going on. LaMelo gets 2 fouls, and Monte gets 2 fouls, so then it changed the personality of this game. Aaron Gordon continued. First, he's attacking the basket. Then he's just, getting drop-offs and post-ups and everything, and he gets to 17 points. Jokic, not very aggressive in that first quarter. And maybe it was because Aaron Gordon had it going, so he kind of slipped to the background. He did grab a bunch of boards. But the Nuggets starters were playing very well. They had built a nice lead. I think it was an 8 or 9 point lead they had built, handed off to the bench, who, of course, I said in the pregame show, this game was going to come down to the bench. How did they do? The bench was going to do well. No, they got absolutely trucked. In their 2 minutes on the court in the first quarter, they get outscored and blow the entire lead. It goes down to 32-30, Nuggets entering the break. And then in the second quarter, the bench just completely collapses. They did not score a point in the first half without Jokic on the court.
I think it was an Austin Rivers 3 in the third quarter. That was their first field goal without Jokic.
That's insane. Absolutely insane. So the Hornets go up 6, and again, it was just terrible. That Nuggets unit just had – it almost reminded me of a game from December where it was okay, first unit put you in a great spot, just tap it in. Nope, complete collapse. Nuggets starters come back in, though, and storm right back, and you got a little bit of confidence of – the Nuggets starting unit did not lose momentum, even though the second unit lost the game's momentum. The second unit or first unit comes back in, goes right back up. But there was an awful end of the half. Will Barton comes down. He takes a quick shot, like a mid-range jumper, and hits it. To go, it's really a 3 for 2. We don't talk about the 3 for 2 very often, but I think that's what he was trying to do. Came down and had 2 ridiculous plays after that. So it was almost like he turned, instead of getting 2 possessions in the half, he gets 3 of them, 2 of which were terrible. So it was a really weird end of the half there for Barton, and the Hornets take a lead, 57-56. Third quarter, Hornets started packing the paint a little bit more. We had a lot of Jeff Green catching the ball wide open in the corner. He took a couple of them, but you could just tell the Nuggets were out of rhythm. Montrezl Harrell, Jokic got going a little bit. Montrezl Harrell gets ejected on a really weird play. Watching it and not knowing what happened, it looked like a quick double tech. He got 2 technicals basically in one instance. I didn't think it. It was weird.
Well, there was the double tech on AG, but then Harrell continued to complain.
Sure.
And so there was a follow-up technical.
So he got a complaining tech.
Yeah.
It was a little weird. Hey, I'm not going to complain about it. Harrell's gone. He was actually having a very good game, surprisingly.
No one seemed to complain about that.
Nobody, not even the Hornets complain about it. You're right. They just kind of let that one go. Bones hit a three. One of the biggest plays. The ball, last minute of the third, bounced Denver's way. This is how I would say it. That second unit wasn't necessarily playing great. Bones hits a three. He catches it at his ankles, goes up, knocks it down.
Yep.
Big time play. No calls on Denver on 2 back-to-back possessions that could have, in my opinion, resulted in Charlotte getting back-to-back free throws. Instead, both of them go as no calls, and the Nuggets take a 93-84 lead into the fourth quarter. There were some really good boogie plays to start the fourth quarter. I thought he had a very weak first stint, but his second stint, especially in the fourth quarter, he started to do some things that were important. Scoring inside, drawing fouls, grabbing rebounds. Malone waits, though. So that second unit's having a good stretch here. Malone, he does this all the time. I'll wait then. Oh, I won't put Jokic in at the 7-minute mark. I'll just kind of let this ride. They're playing all right. The bench ends on like an 8-0 run for Charlotte in Denver. It almost collapsed everything, all the way down to a 6-point lead. Jokic checks in. Immediately, Charlotte hits a three. It's a 3-point lead. And then this is where the game gets interesting. Down the stretch, Nuggets have a 3-on-1 fast break. An inadvertent whistle stops the break. It was the craziest thing. I've really never seen it. Stops the break. They go to a jump ball. Charlotte gets the jump ball and comes and hits a three-pointer. To me, I thought, oh my God, that is such a huge swing. How are you going to get out of this? Jokic started going one-on-one at Plumlee. Mixed results. I think you would picture a completely dominant Jokic there. He still dominated pretty much that matchup, but a little bit of mixed results. And then here's the play. Nuggets up 5, a minute to go. Barton just lollipops a pass over to Monte Martin.
That.
Huh?
You loved this.
Oh, this was my most frustrating play of the season. The season was on the line tonight. They're up 5 points with a minute to go. And he threw the laziest pass I've ever seen across. LaMelo Ball just jumps out and steals it, goes the other way and gets a layup. And now what is you're almost certainly going to win. Win probability of 90%. All of a sudden it's down to probably 55, 60%, all off of just having a lazy pass at the worst possible moment. You come back the other way, and you're going up, what were they up? 5 points. Denver gets a score. I think Jokic gets a score. You're going the other way. They take Jokic out. Set situation. You have a chance to set your defense. Well, Barton somehow leaves Terry wide open for a three, just like is on his heels for some reason, and he drains a three. Jokic the other way now to clinch it with 35 seconds left or so. He misses a jump hook, but gets the offensive rebound. Actually, Aaron Gordon tapped the offensive rebound to him, and Jokic hits the 2 free throws in the pressure cooker, and that was all she wrote. Nuggets set a record. They get that road win. But my God, this was one of those ones where they didn't necessarily earn the win, in my opinion. They got the win, but didn't necessarily earn it. There was enough dumb plays down there that if they would have lost, you would have been like, man, they deserved it. But fortunately, they were able to pull this out. Dev, what's your big takeaway from this one?
A very, very awkward game from the Nuggets, and we're still looking for that complete game, especially down the home stretch where they're trying to get into playoff atmosphere type of games and trying to crack down on those things. And the starters were really, really good. All of them finished in double figures. Not a single other player, nobody on the bench finished in double figures.
Man.
So minuses across the board, positives across the board for the starters. And I just want them to try to get it together and come together. This was a game that Jokic got additional help, from other people. Barton scored. Jeff Green finished with 14. Monte scored. Everybody else is scoring, and it wasn't on Jokic the entire time. Aaron Gordon starts out very, very strong, very, very fast. But just trying to get to a complete game. I think that's my biggest takeaway.
What about you there, Vogt?
I mean, one of them is how important the bench has become to this team's success. And then zooming in, how important it is having a traditional lineup for the bench. And so tonight there were 3-4 guards out there often.
No
Green,
Mike.
no Zeke Naji even. That's old news now, but back in the day he would have been that next man up. I thought that hurt them. I didn't think they had a ton of good options there.
Really good note.
And then, by the way, I also thought my next takeaway is just Malone was coaching this one like a playoff game. I know he waited a little late in the fourth, but he brought Jokic back earlier in the second than he usually does.
Yeah.
He also yanked Bryn Forbes and Davon Reed after the first half, in which neither looked particularly good. So there was a sort of not middle of the season, a couple of adjustments that he made that I thought were good tonight.
I looked this up tonight. LeBron has played 29 games this year with 37 or more minutes. Jokic has played 6. I just part of me is like, I understand it when it's January, when it's December. We can see the finish line. It's right around the corner. There's now 6 games left in the season. You could see it. This was a must-win game, and so for me, I'm with you, Vogt. Like, it's not the biggest deal, and the Nuggets won, so I guess it works out. But part of me just looks at that and goes, is Jokic more tired if he plays an extra 2 minutes tonight?
In any one game, probably no, but I do think
we're there.
But I do, sure. So I get that, but I understand that philosophy across the entire season. When you were watching Jokic in round 2 last year, thinking he has nothing left. So
yeah.
I see both sides of this one.
It's funny because a lot of people have hit me up and saying, like, can they find a spot to rest Jokic? Like, no, they cannot rest Jokic a game. They just can't unless they get to the very end of the season and they have the last game of the year. It doesn't matter. Maybe you rest him there. In fact, it's the Lakers, so I would. You got to get the 6th seed, and if you do get the 6th seed, you get like 5 or 6 days off before the playoffs begin because we have the play-in. We have 2 rounds of play-in before the playoffs begin. So for me, that's where you rest. You try to get that 6th seed and you rest because if you fall to the play-in, I'm sorry, like the season's going to get. It's not that it's over, but it's just that your odds go down so much anyway that at that point fewer things matter. Jokic tonight, though, we got to celebrate him a little bit. 26 points, 19 rebounds, 11 assists, 2 steals. He is the DraftKings Sportsbook's king of the game. 26 points, 19, 11. Yeah, I thought he was okay as well. He was a team high and a game high plus 21. He missed a couple little bunnies. He did look a little tired down the stretch. He was going up against Plumlee. He did miss a couple bunnies that we didn't expect, including like he had one weird jump hook that even the form of it was a little strange to me or whatever. But it doesn't matter. Like that stat line, we talked about when Jokic has to go to the mattresses, when it's like, hey, it's go time. We need a win. The number one stat you can count on him getting, rebounds. He grabs 19 tonight. Like
5 offensive rebounds as well.
And I'm going to go right into this one. We're at that MVP portion here. I did not expect this piece of information to be pertinent for Jokic this year in his MVP campaign. A Nuggets record wins on the road this season. You don't have Jamal Murray, you don't have Michael Porter Jr., and you set a Nuggets franchise record for wins on the road. That's, to me, is like, I actually think that's a pretty substantial little piece that I just had never thought of.
I mean, if you're gonna pick a season to set the franchise record for road wins, it might as well be the season where you can't buy a win at home, right?
Yeah.
Got to offset that darkness somehow.
Is that not an MVP case? Like, is that not at least going like line 3 or 4 when you're making the case?
Absolutely. When you talk about like the problems or like things that could happen, it's those road games.
Right.
There's letdown spots. There's like, rest. There's, not going into it with the right mentality. And Denver has found a way to win those games, and that's why they're still competing. Think about if they had a regular year on the road. They're a play-in team. They're not doing well, but they found a way to keep bouncing back and to combat those type of downfalls there, and they win. So, yeah, that's something that you add on. You add on every single thing that you can because that's what it's about, is finding those advantages, and he found one of the biggest ones that most people can't do.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised you guys are lower energy on this because I thought you were going to be like, to me, like that record is kind of big. The Nuggets have been around for 56 years, 56 seasons. To set a record, and it's a wins record on the road, I'm like, that's pretty impressive. You could even make the case that one of the high-profile things about this year has been just the lack of Nuggets fans in some of these high-profile games. You could make the case Jokic overcoming injuries, overcoming the Cronkies, overcoming everything this year. I honestly think it's a big feather in his cap, so I was pretty impressed with that. And when you talk about the Nuggets are currently a 6 seed, they're almost certainly going to be on the road to start the playoffs. It means a little something to me that they have proven to be road warriors. It almost every year you have a little personality to you, like, what is it? I kind of like you know what this team is this year? Road warriors.
Sure.
They're a road team, so you got to go into Golden State or maybe Memphis. You got to go into Utah to a hostile crowd. You might have to do that for your first round. Cool. This Nuggets team, that's actually what they're good at. That's what they're best at.
And that's like a selling point when you're the coach and also like like the leader of the team is like, hey, it's okay to go on the road and try to do it. Also, your backs have been against the wall the entire year. Add this on, add this on as a peg. Add this on to be able to go out there and get those type of wins because you've been here. You've been, one of the best teams in the entire NBA on the road. So being on the road is nothing to you guys, and
Yeah.
you come home and you finish it. So, yeah, I think that that's a great thing to just have, for a coach.
Do you think that becomes a rallying cry vote?
Sure.
We're road warriors, baby.
Also, I mean, if you had to pick one that you could fix and turn around, it would be the home wins, right?
Yeah,
you have to
for
think
sure.
eventually those will start to come. In a playoffs, you still look at the home games as an advantage. But yeah, I think, and not just that, guys who are used to more reduced roles, who are used to high usage, high leverage opportunities across 82 games now. I'm thinking of Monte Morris in particular, who just has to have that much more confidence in himself to lead the team from the point guard position to a road win. I mean, it's a great quality for a team to have. It's really weird. I mean, they beat up on below 500 teams. They win on the road.
Right.
It's crazy that they're just home success away from maybe home court this year. We'll see if they can figure that out.
It's so true. I don't know. We might need to do 2 segments on him, like to start it here. But Aaron Gordon tonight in that first quarter, I know it tailed off a little bit, but he had 21 points tonight, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. He got one of every single stat. Goes 9 of 16 from the field. But to me, Dev, man, his last 3 games, he's been getting to the paint.
Yep.
3 or 4, whatever it's been. But it looks like he's made a point of, no, I go to the rim now. And I don't know if that's like we all talk about, it's 10 games out, it's time to push it into, top gear. I feel like he, more than anyone else I'm looking at, and I'm like, that to me looks like a guy that flipped a switch.
Yeah, he's definitely elevated his game, and he's starting to be a lot more aggressive. It's been for a while now, multiple games in a row where he's been the second option again. And that's what the Nuggets have desperately needed, is another guy. In this game, he changed the entire game plan for Charlotte, because they went from just double teaming Jokic the entire time, and it's like, all right, just keep double teaming him. Aaron Gordon's going to eat them alive, and he was the reason that they got off to a quick lead. That I think that it just made them have to audible from the game plan. It was bound for him to to not finish with a monster game. That's just not who he is. That's not what he is. And also I don't even think he started shooting anymore the same type of ways. But he did exactly what you needed in that game, and that's just to add a little bit more and to just be that second guy. And I feel like he did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we've been waiting to see, right, is him look not just good, but the way we talked about him that first half of the season. What a fit alongside Jokic, right? The way he fills in the cracks for this roster. Starting to see that a little bit more the last 2-3 games. And, of course, you've hit the nail on the head, Adam. I mean, a wide-open shooting lane, a wide-open shot can also be viewed as a wide-open cutting lane or driving lane. And I think AG's starting to approach it that way more. He looked really good tonight. The other thing I'll shout out, he had 7 total rebounds tonight, 5 of those on the offensive glass.
That's huge. That's big time.
Including one really big one late in the fourth quarter, if I'm remembering correctly. So another good approach game from AG, and you just have to be thrilled from that.
I think that's a pretty. I didn't even notice that 5 off on the offensive end. I mean, we talked about this, that Denver every year in the Jokic era is great on the offensive board. I mean, this is kind of the MO. You stretch a team out. There's a vulnerability there, and maybe it really is as simple as AG just paced himself, and now
It's
he's
possible.
sprinting
It's
through
possible.
the line. I hope that's the case, because if you get this version of Aaron Gordon, even without Murray and Porter, the Nuggets do then become at least a threat to some of these other teams. That's a missing piece was, Aaron Gordon actually can do some stuff sometimes like he did in the first quarter tonight, and it really changes games. So I'm encouraged by that. Let's take a break. On the other side, though, we got to go to the bench and talk about them and what went wrong for them in this one. And most important of all, we got to look at the standings. We're on standings watch right now, and they change every single night.
You know what hasn't changed? This sweet deal coming to you from Evoca TV. We keep hearing from people in the DMs, the text messages, in person at the takeover. Evoca TV, who helped us, by the way, with that takeover at Ball Arena, they're taking over themselves. They provide altitude sports right now, and that this service is available in Denver, Colorado Springs, Phoenix, Boise, and Twin Falls, Idaho. That's right, you heard right. They have altitude sports. They're making it easy to follow the Colorado teams that you love, the teams you deserve to watch, to be frank. And so how do you sign up for this? You go to evoca.tv/DNVR. It's only $25 per month plus receiver. Check them out and let us know how they're treating you, because the reviews so far, guys and gals, they're great. And so we want to keep pushing Evoca TV on all of you until everyone can watch the Nuggets again. Another thing you can do while you're watching the Nuggets is drink Breckenridge Brewery.
Man, these are our 2 sponsors of the party bus. My God.
They did.
Incredible.
Shout out sponsors, because what a night that was. And Breck Brew did supply a bunch of beers that we gave to the party bus goers. People ordered it on tap here at the DNVR bar because, of course, that's always an option. Whatever kind of Breck Brew you're looking for, you can find it with the Breck Beer Locator. Just look that up on Google. Tell them what you're looking for. Tell them where you live. They'll tell you where to go to pick up your favorite brand of Breckenridge Brewery, your favorite flavor, I should say. Remember, the farmhouse is open, socially distanced, beautifully set up for outside dining. If you're more comfortable at home, you can still order curbside pickup 12 to 8 p.m. Order delicious food and booze from the farmhouse. If you're able, call 303-803-1380 from 12 to 8 p.m. for pickup. Use code DNVR to save $5. That's it.
Alrighty, back here, segment 2. Was there anybody else from the starting unit that you kind of feel deserves special mention or special? I mean, Monte Morris tonight had 9 assists, 14 points, 9 assists to go with 3 rebounds.
One thing I will say, just as good as of a game that Aaron Gordon had on the offensive end, and you remember those plays, his most memorable play of the game was the block for me.
Off the backboard?
Off the backboard in crunch time, and, just kept going. And I'm glad that the defense is starting to come back where he has 2 steals and playing those passing lanes. He's getting out and running. They started getting the oops going, so he's doing a little bit more than what we've, expected, and it's what, we've been asking for him. So I just want to say something about the defense because I've been on it all season long.
Yeah, and this is the thing that's so encouraging is AG. We've been tough on him lately. Like, he's been a little disappointing over this middle portion of the season, but when he plays like he does tonight, it really does give you this different confidence because he looks like, AG's role on this team is the same as an OG Anunoby, the same as a Mikal Bridges, the same of like these guys that are not inconsequential players. They're really big. Be defensive lockdown guys, but also competent on the offensive end that some nights it's your night, like tonight, and you can do these things. If they swing the ball to you, you feel confident. If you get a one-on-one, hey, he might be able to beat his guy off the dribble every here and there. So that's why it's so important, and I'm hopeful we have that guy back because I know he is that guy. He's just not that guy for 82 games, but I'm hopeful we have him back.
Me too, man. Me too. It's a great note, and that's the big hope right now.
You go to the bench here. Bones tonight, 19 minutes. He gets 9 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. He goes 2 of 6 from the field, including 2 of 5 from the three-point line. I felt like he was a little passive in that fourth quarter in a way that it was weird, and I don't know if this was a game plan thing. He had IT on him. Horrible defender. Can't guard anyone. And they kept setting screens for him. I don't know why. They kept setting screens for him. I felt like that was a Bones, let him cook or what have you, and he just didn't do it tonight.
Yeah, we didn't see that same assertiveness that we've been seeing from him as of late where he just can't be stopped. And also on a guy that he knows for a fact can't guard him, I really thought he was going to do it because he challenges everybody. You put him on, Bones Island, and he's going to try to cook. This was a game that he was kind of relaxed, trying to just, get others involved, trying to get within the flow of the offense. And I feel like they were trying to run plays with him there instead of those ISO situations where he's best at. Him being free is where he excels. And I'm glad the shot fell, the deep shot, but he has to be way, way more aggressive if that second unit wants to get themselves in a flow offensively.
Yeah, 5 of his 6 field goal attempts tonight were from deep, and that felt just like the wrong distribution, right? I mean, with IT guarding him, couldn't agree. We talked about it pregame. Both he and Austin Rivers should have just attacked him off the dribble. And I mean, it's all easier said than done, especially from this couch. But just with the way Bones has been playing post All-Star break, you would have thought that's easy money. And I thought maybe trying to play through DeMarcus Cousins almost a little too much, the bench was. But yeah, just a weird one from Bones, whose confidence looked lower tonight than it's been of late. Maybe he overthought not trying to force the issue tonight. I'm not sure. I mean, no harm, no foul in the win, of course. But this was not the best of Bones we've seen since the All-Star break.
Bryn Forbes got 5 minutes and was taken out. Davon Reed got 4 minutes. I feel like he's out of the circle trust pretty firmly now. Doesn't it seem that way? I mean, they could use some shooting from him, but if he's not going to be making, I just feel like he's got a quick. It's almost like Malone puts him out there and is like, "You got a 3 into you or no?"
Yeah, I agree. I couldn't agree.
And if he doesn't, then whatever.
Well, he's a high mistake guy. I mean, look, defensively, Bryn Forbes is not good. That's well documented. But he also doesn't know where to be a lot of the time. And whether or not the window for the shot is there, if he catches it, he's shooting it. or else he's turning it over, it feels like right now. So this could be the kind of thing, Dev, that's easily rectified by he hits 2 or 3 in a row, he gets himself going again, and we're all reminded by how helpful a shooting threat is.
Yeah, he has a short leash right now, and also you're supposed to, because, I mean, he's a shooter that has not been making shots. So if you're not doing that, then what really are you bringing? Like, he's fouling guys at a lot of times. It seems like you said, he's just out there just running around, not knowing where to be and things like that. And like that takes a toll, especially on that second unit where they have to be on the same page,
right.
In unison and things like that. And he just isn't bringing that. I do think that he's, pretty much out of the rotation right now. But at any time you put him out there and you just need a three-pointer, I feel like they're going to go back to them. Like just having a guy that can extend the defense and bring that type of gravity is just something that you could have and you're just going to need at some point.
You know who is in the circle of trust off of the bench? I think maybe the number one circle of trust guy is Austin Rivers. And he played 26 minutes tonight, and he got the close. Like, that's the big thing, is he got to close this game in place of Jeff Green, which I think was a great call.
Yeah.
One, you needed somebody that could get stops. He's the only guy. Denver's weakest, like their biggest weakness when you talk about overall as a team, and honestly, in my opinion, is perimeter containment. They get cooked. They get cooked by guys in perimeter containment too often, and Austin Rivers is the one guy that I feel good about. I'm like, so I almost am at the point. I know this sounds kind of crazy. I might be at the point where I just want him on the court at crunch time. Like, I don't know who that means you have to take out. Probably Will Barton most of the time, but sometimes it's going to be Jeff Green. Whoever it is, I just want him on the court because I want him guarding whoever it is that I'm most afraid about getting into the paint.
Yeah, like just having a guy that is willing to play defense the entire time,
right.
like that.
Exactly.
That point of contact defense that he puts on, he's willing to put his body out there. He's willing to, get hit in the head. Like, and we've seen that today, where he's just he's just gonna do it all, and that's something that I just really did not expect at all. Like from Austin Rivers, like my idea of him before the Nuggets was he's just gunning, he's just wants to score, he's all about himself, and like you've seen that transformation from him. And Denver really has been using them, and they've been needing that type of defense against, LaMelo Ball and these guards, Terry Rozier. Like, those are really good guards and shifty guards that can really just mess up your entire defense. He makes sure that he, makes it hard for them. He's physical. He's quick. He's, making you think. So, yeah, having a guy like that at all times, I want him in the game. And also, he doesn't make many mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're checking box scores this season more than games, there's going to be a lot of Austin Rivers praise that's flying right over your head. But there are games where he looks poor offensively, or he's not playing well offensively, and that's because all of his effort is on the other end, and you can see it. I mean, he is working, and he works hard. And by the way, there is something to that Austin in for Jeff. That lineup with Monte, Austin, and Will. Now, I can contextualize this data entirely, no, but there's a lot of good numbers on that line. The five-man data on that lineup is good.
Really?
Yeah, it is. They've had a good year. So I don't know when they play, how often that is, you know what I mean, or how often you can go to that. But I sort of like the idea of taking Jeff out for Austin to close sometimes, depending on the size of your opponent.
Here's the big question, I think, that after this game, it's sort of the big question I have for the Nuggets. Do you feel, so they have 2 wins in a row, they won 3 of their last 4, Clippers, they lost to Phoenix, then Oklahoma City, Charlotte. Do you feel, has this been a stretch that has given you confidence that the Nuggets are ready to close this out and hold on to the 6th seed or maybe even climb? Or do you feel like you're I don't know, man, they kind of squeaked one by Oklahoma City, squeaked one by here? I think
I'm a little bit worried. I think the squeaking and by these teams that they could easily win or beat just does something for me. I just want them to play complete games. Even if they lose the game, it was like the Boston game, where you're like, hey, that's the type of game was it Boston or was it Phoenix? One of them they played really, really good.
It was Phoenix. Phoenix. Boston they got murdered.
It was Phoenix. Where I was like, hey, even though they lost, anybody else they're going to beat. Playing that type of way, playing with that type of, just spaz. Like they were energetic, they were ready, to compete. They brought it on both ends of, not both ends, but they tried to score and they tried to was in the game. So, if they could give more of those type of effort type games, then yes. But against OKC, that's missing every single body, and then also Charlotte, who just really didn't look like they wanted to win, that was not in desperation mode, even though like they should have been. That worries me a little bit.
But what do you think? Like, are you confident that the Nuggets are approaching their best basketball?
No. I'm confident in them avoiding the play-in right now. But, in terms of them flipping some switch and looking like a great playoff team anytime soon, I'll definitely hold off on that. But, yeah, I think they're going to hold on to that. Like, I think we make a lot of how ugly these games can look, but the Nuggets have won these games. They've taken care of business. We know the Wolves' schedule gets a little hard down the stretch. They've had to push so hard to gain so little ground. And the Nuggets have the best player in the world. So I feel good about them avoiding the play-in right now. But as far as them rounding into form heading into the playoffs, not so much.
The Nuggets kind of have one more of these. Like, they've got the Pacers tomorrow, who have not been very good. Or not tomorrow, I'm sorry, on Wednesday. Pacers haven't been very good. They've lost 4 in a row. They're a tanking team. They have nothing left to play for. So they got one more of these where if Denver gets an uninspiring 4 or 5 point game, you'll say whatever. But after that is where the real test comes. And look, we've seen this from Denver. When do they play their best? Usually when it's like, hey, more is required of them.
Yeah.
They really are a team that is good at taking their foot off the gas pedal when they know they can sort of waltz on by. And maybe that's the situation the Nuggets are finding themselves in right now. I don't know. But this game to me just didn't inspire a ton of confidence. It didn't make me worried. I mean, I'm not like more worried or this or that. It's just you're waiting for that game where it's like, oh, yeah, the Nuggets can be great. And we just didn't get that. I don't think either of these last two, even though you got the W's, so I won't sit and complain. Why don't we hit our other break? On the other side, Harrison Wind is wrapping up. We might actually have to swap you, Vogt, after the ad break just to get the last player, which is Jokic, which usually takes like 20 extra minutes.
Fine by me.
But we'll get a break, and we'll read some Super Chats. We'll go around the association, and we'll go from there.
Colorado's premier dispensary, Lightshade, 10 Colorado locations. We're partners with them because they're Colorado's premier dispensary. And if you use promo code DNVR, you can get 25% off on any Lightshade location. And while you're there, might you want to check out Wana Optimal's Fast Asleep, 20 to 100 THC to CBD ratio, If you need to catch up on some shut-eye after the big game, no matter when you take them, this well-rounded recipe will leave you feeling rested and refreshed in the morning. Over-the-counter pharmaceuticals knock you out with powerful drugs that leave you in a fog. That's not the case with Wana. Want to try it? Where can you find it? At Lightshade. Use promo code DNVR for 25% off. And the American Raptors are playing rugby at Infinity Park. This is a crossover group of athletes who have succeeded and thrived in their respective backgrounds of sport. Now they're trying their hand in rugby. They went 5-5 in their first season, and they want you to come check them out in this upcoming season. Look, if you didn't know, one of the capitals of rugby culture in USA is right here in Colorado, Glendale, Colorado, Rugby Town, USA. So check them out. By the way, if you want to learn more about the game, if you're already a big rugby fan and you're looking for more content, check out the weekly DNVR Rugby podcast hosted by the homie Colton Strigler. That's available wherever your podcasts are available.
Dude, we got a tailgate rugby game this year, a Raptors game. Remember when we did that 2-3 years ago, like right when we started? We got to do it again, man. It'll be a good time. All right, we got any Super Chats today? Any sickos?
Yes.
We actually do. Wow, I have just realized that I said we'll go to Super Chats, and I'm like, I don't know if we have any. Morgan says, great meeting you guys Saturday. Still recovering from all of the Breck brews. Had quiet LFG. Glad to see AG getting back to form. As many O-Rebs as Yoke. Hell yeah, man. It really was great. It was great meeting you as well. It was great. Man, I'm telling you, it's the best part. We know all these people online, then you meet them in real life. I met Smuggett for the first time.
You hadn't met him yet?
I hadn't met him. Yeah, he was here one time, and I didn't meet him. So, a real person, the legend. Met so many great people. It was awesome. Even Marco, who makes the rakia, he brought a rakia. Oh, my God. Did you try it?
Listen, you guys know I hate
They do know that.
The alcohol.
They know that.
That was good.
That was incredible.
It was actually really good. I would have took a few more.
I'm not kidding. That's like a top 5 alcohol I've ever had.
It was good.
Shouts to Marco. It was fire. Literally, it's called Vatre, I think, which is Serbian for fire. I might have screwed that up. Help me out, Serbians. Vatra. Which is funny because it sounds like water, but it's fire. The elements. Josh says, Joker TD on my birthday. Let's get
Happy
that.
birthday, Josh.
What did you say? Oh, division title. LFG. Hell yeah. Happy birthday, Jai. How are you paying us on your birthday? We got to throw that back to you, man. Happy birthday to you. We got to get you out here for one of these party buses, man. You've been being a homie for a really long time. Happy birthday. Hope it's a great one. Sucks when your birthday falls on a Monday. You know that?
Yeah, I just changed my birthday whenever it does something
Really?
like that. Yeah.
You're like, yeah, it's Saturday night. What do you know? DK says, I believe it is time for Reed to take Will's mantle as at the 2 spot. Better defense, better decision making, better shooting.
Reed got benched after 4 minutes tonight. So maybe just another night. Let's do this some other night.
Look, man, Barton's been bad. I don't get it. He's in a funk. He has a weird energy to him. It's just weird with Barton right now. I mean, if you want to put your negative Barton energy in a place, I'm telling you guys, for your own mental health, put it towards hoping Barton plays better. And actually, like, you hoping a thing doesn't change, hope that he plays better, because that's really the only thing that can happen that would be positive with the Barton situation this year. And by the way, he did some nice stuff. Like, here's the thing about Barton. He had some good moments tonight. He had some, like, big plays that were
turnovers.
It was the turnovers. It was the worst play was the one I was talking about, that lazy turnover.
Yeah.
But he had another one that killed me.
Oh, the defense.
The defense, where the Nuggets had 22 and a half seconds of great defense.
Oh, and
for
lunged
some
for
reason,
the
he
steal.
went for a steal
Yeah.
that resulted in being attacked
alley-oop
5-on-4,
dunk,
an alley-oop
yeah.
dunk. You turned a defensive possession that was almost certain to be a Hail Mary 3, Chuck, into a dunk. And it was like, I get it. I'm with you guys. I get it. I see it. I'm just telling you, for your own sanity, root for Will Barton to play better. Root for him to make his shots. Root for him not to turn it over. Don't root for him to do something crazy to happen, because I'm telling you, you're going to be upset every single time.
Also, 18, 6, and 3 plus 15, they won. I don't know, whatever.
It's so true.
You know, I mean,
it's so true.
Okay.
Barton's mistakes are the loudest, but they're often always also like the most overstated. And I'm with you. Those plays tonight were my least
And they
favorite
matter.
plays
And
that
they do
ever
matter.
happened.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. I'm just saying. All right, what do we got? Team Jokic, he says, I'm going to be in for the Spurs and Grizz game next week from Michigan. Hell yeah.
go.
Huge fan of you guys. Will I be welcome to watch a game
Yes.
in the bar since I'm only 17?
Yes.
Hope so. Most casual 26-19-11 for the MVP. Absolutely. This is a bar and restaurant, so people are welcome in even if you can't drink, and that's okay. But yeah, definitely come in. So are you here? Those games are at home, right? Those are home games. The Memphis one is for sure home. What was the other one he said? Spurs, San Antonio?
Spurs,
so yeah,
yeah.
those are both home games. So, but if you're not at the game, of course you can come here. And of course, if you are going to the game, you can come here before, have dinner, talk to us, whatever. What else we got? Smuggett says, I think we aren't stoked enough on this win. Adam and Matt agreed on lockdown that this was likely lost tonight. Nugs win is amazing in my book. I agree. I blame these guys.
What?
Us?
Yeah, I blame you guys.
I'll take that. My energy's low tonight.
What the hell?
I gave it all to the
You did.
takeover.
You know what? It's a good excuse.
Yeah.
What's your excuse, Dev?
I actually said that they were going to win the game.
You did, yeah.
You're like, I'm not. My energy's low because it's what I expected.
Yeah, I really did expect them to just win that game. Especially, that team's not as good as Denver. They really aren't.
I was very unimpressed with them tonight. I was like just so unimpressed.
By the way, I did think their crunch time offense was a tired team at the end of a back-to-back. Some lazy one and done, just chuck that up there and pray it falls.
But that's what I mean, though. I think that they're kind of just a lazy team.
Well, I think they run, and I think
Yeah,
they've got
they
a lot
do
of
fast break.
athletes.
You're right.
But can you clean it up in crunch time? Half court's a different question. By the way, again, I'm not your numbers guy, so contextualizing all of this. I was talking about this before. Cleaning the glass, Monte Morris, Austin Rivers, Will Barton, Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic. They played 159 possessions together this year. Cleaning the glass has them at plus 33.5 differential, which is in the 99th percentile in the league. So some small sample size theater there, but that lineup has succeeded and maybe one to think about down the stretch when you're not liking what you're seeing from Jeff as much.
I can't believe how much I've enjoyed Austin Rivers. I've genuinely enjoyed Austin Rivers on the Nuggets. Like I feel good about him, especially when you start to bring back some of these other guys, some more offense. I'm like, cool. Austin Rivers, I just have faith in him to do his job, which is always great. Oh my gosh, it got windy in here. What are we doing here? What would you say we're doing here stylistically?
Well, you don't like it?
I mean, I like it.
You're like a free spirit. Like,
I'm getting my Aaron Gordon on.
wow, is that what it is?
Yeah.
This is an Aaron Gordon
you're back
fit.
there
Wow,
doing
I love
really
it.
is.
He did-
you were doing some aerobics
Harrison
back there.
just strolled in with
Promo code
his shirt
DNVR.
very
Yeah.
unbuttoned.
Yeah.
Very unbuttoned.
Very sober, but very free flowing.
Harrison, why don't you take us behind the scenes?
Sure.
Can I ask you first real quick?
Yes.
Honest. What?
We just have one more super chat still.
Oh, we still have one more super chat. Okay, we'll get to it in just a second.
Do we think the Bill Kennedy Joker ship sailed even further tonight?
I'm telling you,
Dude, this has been my thing, man. I think two
I love that he's coming in hot.
two referees like Nikola Jokic in the NBA.
Okay.
Okay.
One is Billy Kennedy.
Yeah, I agree.
The
Strong
other is an Eastern European ref who's from the Baltics.
Really?
Yeah, there's one.
Really?
Yeah.
The
there's one.
Baltics or the Balkans?
The Balkans, sorry. The Balkans.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah,
There we go.
yeah. But I think both those guys are in Jokic's corner.
Man, that's wild, bro. That's wild. I think Billy Kennedy for sure likes it, though.
Yeah.
Like,
He
the
does.
inadvertent whistle aside, though, that one killed me.
That
Also-
was a weird one.
Tricep corner with Billy Kennedy. Holy
He knows
smokes.
exactly what he's doing.
He knows exactly.
I love Billy Kennedy,
Me
man.
too, man.
I love when the refs are characters, but most of them when they're characters, their character is asshole. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
like most of the referees that you know their name, it's because they're antagonists.
But that's how the referees used to be. Like Billy Kennedy's from the older generation of refs. Now they come in and they're like robots.
You
They got-
think?
they got no personality?
Oh,
now.
it's like they've killed
Yeah.
it. Billy Kennedy is definitely a performer.
Yeah.
like when it's time. Like
he's
like,
from
you know
the
what?
Joey Crawford school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the guns and all. You know, like he's working out because he's like.
Yeah.
I wonder if those guys go home and review their reviews.
Like, how can I get in a better stance?
Yeah, like
On the table?
Because I mean, let's not kid ourselves. Every single time today, Billy Kennedy walked up and he did this one. It's like one arm forward, one arm back, bends a little,
Oh,
flexes both,
he's rehearsing
flexing
the
both, and
stance
it's like
he's
a
in.
little, but it's like
The turn.
it's
Yeah.
like natural enough that you could be like, hey, he's just leaning on the
Right.
thing, but you know it's not natural.
Like, he knows I got to work out my triceps more than any other muscle.
Billy Kennedy goes home and he watches the tape of him giving reviews and he takes notes and he's like, you know
Shoulder
what? I'm gonna
higher
put a
next
little,
time.
Yeah.
Shoulder higher.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
give a look because even today he had one where he like stopped himself to rephrase it a different way. I can't remember what it was, but it was like he's
also
like, the
has
challenge
the-
is upon further review.
He has the
Like,
perfect pause down, too, you know?
Oh, it's so great.
Oh,
I love Billy Kennedy.
He's in the club.
He's in the club. I am
I put
all
him in the
for.
club.
I can't believe I stand a referee.
Here we are.
Here we are.
So I only talked to Mullen and Monte Morris tonight. Nuggets set a record for franchise road wins in a season tonight.
That's right.
They got their 23rd road win.
Do we have a graphic for this? The road.
Let's
we
go.
got a graphic. The Road Warrior.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh hell yeah!
Do we
Look
need
at
to
this,
credit Al Goodin
Jokic.
for that, or is that
My
us?
goodness.
Oh, okay.
My
Oh, shout out
goodness.
Al
Look
Goodin.
at this
Wow.
thing. Really made Yoke's neck kind of long though. That's the only if I had one.
I wonder if
Send him a
104.3
note.
the fan's going to rip off that one.
wow, just going at him.
So, yeah, 23 road wins, the most Nuggets have ever had in this season. It's crazy that they set that record in this season. But Malone loved the urgency from the start. He loved how Aaron Gordon started the game in attack mode.
Same.
Malone said he loves how he's playing right now. He thought he set the tone for the game just with that first quarter. Malone also mentioned that he shortened the rotation tonight. I don't think Bryn Forbes or Davon Reed played in the second half.
Right.
So that was interesting. Only 8 offensive rebounds, I think, for Charlotte tonight. They got 17 last night in Brooklyn. And then he was just talking more about his messaging to Aaron Gordon. He said they were on the elevator today after brunch. He said, the way you're attacking, that's how we need you to play. Don't let the defense on the hook. Be aggressive. He says he told Aaron, when you shoot a 3, the defense goes, thank goodness this guy isn't putting his head down and putting me through the rim.
Wow.
Yeah.
So who said this one? Who said this quote?
Malone.
Of him, yeah. That's
Yeah.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
It's true. There
Absolutely
was
true.
a different aggression.
Look, I
to
mean,
him.
I feel like we talk about this with Aaron Gordon.
definitely
This
do.
is the narrative with him. Like
Yeah.
when he plays like he did in the first quarter tonight, he's unstoppable.
Yeah.
When he lets the defense off the hook, he's not. And then Malone was talking about Isaiah Thomas tonight, and he thought back to when IT was on the Nuggets a few years back and then off the Nuggets or out of the rotation. He said the conversation that he had with IT about moving him out of the rotation after 9 games, he called it the toughest conversation he's ever had to have as a head coach. He says he called him into his office after he played 9 games, said he was taking him out of the rotation. IT didn't like the decision, but Malone said, look, it wasn't personal. And then Malone said, look, Isaiah means a lot to me. I'm proud of him. Proud that he's back in the league right now where he belongs. I think Charlotte picking him up for the rest of the year is a smart move. And he says that when IT was in Denver, he helped Jamal and Monte. They'll be the best players they can be. So
Love
a
it.
lot of positive stuff from IT tonight.
That's interesting.
He missed a huge 3 for Denver.
He did, man.
He did.
See,
He
this
got a lot of run tonight. Like, he played way more tonight than he usually does.
I'm telling you though, man. Like, this is what I mean about tonight's game. Is yes, Denver won, but like
Oh, they caught some breaks.
they caught some breaks, man,
yeah.
during their lulls.
They also didn't catch some breaks. Like there was an inadvertent whistle
That one
on
was
a kicked
definitely,
ball
yeah.
in
Right,
transition.
right.
But, so it goes. They won.
Yeah. So then we spoke to Monte as well tonight, and he said, look, we're coming down the stretch of the season. The urgency is there. Having veteran guys who have been in these types of situations obviously helps. We're like a veteran team now. Isn't our first rodeo. He said DeMarcus Cousins has been really vocal, especially before games, like in the huddles before games, making sure everybody's mind is right.
Just
heading
yelling
into
at
that
people.
first quarter.
I think
Yeah,
he's just barking at dudes.
I think so, man. I think so.
That's awesome.
It's been part of why he's been so valuable. On Aaron Gordon, Monte was saying, I love when AG plays like that. He knows that we all like when he plays big down low. When he's in attack mode, that opens things up for the other guys. And then Monte was asked what was the difference first half to second half for the second unit. He said he thought the ball got popping more for the second unit.
Who said this?
Who do you think
Monte.
said this?
Monte
man.
Moore.
My
This
guy.
is
Mr.
the
Nugget.
third
God, I
ball is
love him.
popping reference that I've talked about in the last week.
This
from Monte
This
Morris.
is all cool until it's revealed Adam's just been texting his agent.
Here's what you're gonna have him say. The
Yeah.
ball's
The
popping.
fans will love it if.
Man. Hell yeah, Monte.
Yeah. And then Monte was talking
29
about
assists though.
Isaiah
Not quite
Thomas
popping.
as well.
Very close.
Right,
to
we were
popping.
one away from
One
ball
away from
popping
popping
territory.
Yeah.
But 9 from Monte, the full Monte.
Wow.
That's true. The
9.
full. Wait,
Full
did he have a
Monte.
turnover?
He had 1 though. 9 to 1 is full. 9 to 1 is full.
It has to be 5 to 1 or better.
Yeah,
So
that's
the
right.
full Monte is the full Monte for sure.
And then finally, Monte was talking about Isaiah Thomas. He said he's a great friend of mine and to many people around the league. It was fun seeing him back out there and playing at a high level with a smile on his face.
It is true though. Like I
Yeah.
actually agree with him on this. I really like IT. I don't love him
Yeah.
as a player. To be a full disclosure, like I don't like tiny little guards that can't guard. But sorry, Vogt. Sorry about that. But honestly, like I really like IT, and when he was here, I was very impressed with him.
Yeah, you just root for those type of guys, and also like he's a player or a person that just shows the humility. Like you've seen everything through him, so you just want positive things to happen, and that's a good one. The Nuggets win, and he plays well against them.
Good
You
outcome.
could take all of it. You could take all of it.
Yeah, good outcome. That's all I got.
That's quite a bit. Would you say with this win, with this game, that you have confidence the Nuggets are rounding into form to like close out the season, or is this just kind of like, hey, it was a win, that's all that matters?
I think it was a win. I think the good thing is they're in pretty good position for the 6th seed now. If they beat Minnesota, they should have the 6th seed, right?
It's a big. I mean, it really is like that. I will say I agree with you on that. If they beat Minnesota, they are in a position now to where it could really matter. That I think that they're
And
in such
Utah's
control.
right there. They're half game back
Dallas
at
too.
Utah.
Dallas, Utah. All of them. In fact, let's go to that. We'll go to the standings first. You can even pull this up if you want, Kale, the ESPN standings. But I'll go over them here.
Officially going.
Around the association.
ATA.
Hell yeah, we are around the association. You know we are. So first, just a little updated standings here. So you're right. Mavericks 29 losses, Jazz 30 losses, the Nuggets 31, and then Minnesota 33. So again, just to reiterate, the Nuggets closer to passing Utah than they are to falling behind Minnesota at the very moment.
Yeah.
You can see it up on the board there. The
Can
standings
Golden
there.
State fall all the way to 4, and can Denver get
Golden
up?
I mean,
State's
it's
in free fall
It's
mode right
hilarious,
now.
like to even say it, but the answer is yes, they could. I will say this: it's weird to say, but Golden State might be the team I want the most right now.
I know, and I want them
Like
in the 5-4.
They really are. Well, the 5-4. Well, then you have the Suns though. After
Yeah,
that,
but-
like I know it's weird.
Jokic MVP.
Speaking of standings, we got a super chat about this.
We have a super chat on the standings. We'll go ahead and read it. It says Nuggets are going to win out and get the 3rd seed. Hell yeah, that's a real hot
That
take
would be
right there. The
insane.
3rd seed, 3 games. Wow, I don't see that. Even with a win out, I don't see them getting that high. But
Yeah.
you never know. Maybe it would happen that way. We'll have to just keep our fingers crossed.
They do have the Golden State tiebreaker, right?
What's that?
Do they have the tiebreaker on Golden State?
I think they do on
right?
Golden State. Yeah,
3-1
but it's not
Minnesota?
Golden State.
Yeah.
If they get the 3 seed, it's not because they beat Golden State. I'm guessing it's because they beat Dallas. It might be the new team to have to beat. But All right, let's go around the association tonight. The Grizzlies smacked the hell out of the Warriors.
Dude.
No John Morant, and the Grizzlies are playing like the Boston Celtics and the Phoenix Suns right now. Like, honestly, if you were to talk about momentum going into the playoffs, well, it was Boston, but they just lost Robert Williams.
Right.
Like, that was
That's a big loss.
That's a huge blow to them. I wonder if it halts their momentum. We'll get to them in a second. Phoenix obviously has momentum. It's a 2 years momentum, basically. They've just been good in the regular season. And then I think third behind them would be the Memphis Grizzlies. They are rolling right now. They are trucking teams. They have such a good vibe, such a confidence, such a swagger that I look at them and I'm like, man, I don't want anything to do with Memphis. Whoever gets that 7 seed and will play them that's a hell of a series.
They fit the profile of a team you kind of want in the playoffs, like young, inexperienced, rely on their bench a lot.
Yeah,
but they're so scary.
Yeah,
I think it's terrifying because they don't like after John Morant. I don't know who the second best player is. They
All
just
of them.
play
Every night,
they're
yeah.
all
Tied
together.
for
It's
second.
all just
Yeah.
good, complete. Like every one of them, and that's just terrifying for me.
You go over, so the Grizzlies beat the Warriors. The Warriors are in free fall. They can't get anything going. They are missing, obviously, some guys. But, hey, man, you don't want to be the team that's lost, like, 10 of 15 going into the playoffs.
Come
Especially
back from that foot sprain and save us.
you also don't want to be the guy that was the team that was, a 2 seed all year. Then you fell to the 3, and it was like, wow, is Memphis really going to pass them? Then you're like, no, not just Memphis. Everybody's going to pass them. And that's what Golden State's looking at. The Spurs beat the Rockets. This is meaningful because, 1, the Nuggets play the Spurs. They are still in it. And 2, because the Lakers, for real, might miss the play-in, you guys. This is a real thing that might happen. LeBron and AD allegedly not playing tomorrow. So the Lakers likely to... Do the Lakers not want the play-in? Is it possible that LeBron and company are like,
well,
we don't want to go to the play-in?
Did you see the Clippers news, Dev?
Yes, Paul George is on his way back.
The Lakers may be packing this shit in, dude.
Yeah,
Man.
It also like if they're not going to be in the play-in, it gives you a reason to not bring Anthony Davis back. And I really think that that's what they want, is to not bring him back. It's like, hey, even if you guys make the playoffs, you're not going to win. Like, just get it out. Like, Anthony Davis, he's not going to be with you guys. They said that he's ramping up, but I don't think they want him to play.
Vogt, you've been a LeBron guy. I know we know this. I know you moved away, obviously the Lakers version, but let's say LeBron, he rolled his ankle, just misses the rest of the season. It gets to the last day. Joel Embiid's the scoring leader by 0.1 points.
Oh, yeah.
And LeBron comes back for the last game, even though they're eliminated from the play-in, just to score 40 against the Nuggets. Would this be a legitimate move, or would this be the funniest, weakest move you've ever seen in your life? Because it's on the table that LeBron's
First of all, if the scenario you laid out happens, he's playing. There's no...
The Lakers are eliminated from playoffs last game of the year, and he's like, I got to get 35. I just got to do it.
Yeah, I think he would do that.
Scores 35 and then
it
doesn't
would be
play the
shameless.
second half.
But as you and I have said many times on this show, just give it 10 years. Oh, we'll remember.
It's so true.
Who was the scoring champ?
It's so true. I'm almost going backwards on my I hope Jokic doesn't win MVP take, because I really do think that it'll be fodder for players to try to go after him nonstop. It'll be this thing where it's like, oh, okay, we're going to show him this or that. But you know what? 1, Jokic can handle it. He's good enough.
Yeah.
And 2, it's the same thing you're talking about, Vogt. 20 years from now, when I'm making these arguments at the DNVR bar
Back-to-back
about people, I'm going to be like, no, I'm going to be like, he had 4
Hell yeah.
MVPs back-to-back 2 different times.
I want it so bad.
Yeah, so you know what? I'm back. The Raptors beat the Celtics. So Robert Williams goes down. The Celtics' hottest team in basketball. The Raptors, who are also, by the way, a pretty hot team.
Yeah,
they
true.
win 115-112 in overtime. The Raptors are the next opponent, by the way, for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Another absolute crucial game. Now, this one went to overtime, but there is a day off. We really need the Raptors. The Raptors win the Battle of the North. This is the Battle of the True North, right? If they win that one, it's another game that just tilts things in Denver's favor so much. Pascal Siakam had 40 points. You guys want to know the most down bad team in all of the NBA? It might be the Chicago Bulls.
The Bulls.
What is going on?
They blow. Out of nowhere, they're just not good. They don't win games anymore. All the DeMar DeRozan hype, it just kind of went away because they weren't winning. He's still putting up monster games. He had 37 points in this game, and you're not going to hear much about it because they're losing. Zach LaVine had 27, and then they don't get much help after that. So, just all bad. All bad.
I went on bets today. I said Raptors -8. Wrong. I said Bulls money line. Wrong. And then I said OKC and Trailblazers under, because I just think both teams are going to try to lose. We'll find out what happens there.
We've got some production for that game, too, if you want to.
What's that?
The Trailblazers Thunder game.
Let's get it.
Can you pull up that Around the Association link I sent you? because this is real fun, fellas.
Really?
What do we
Here
got?
we go.
What do
Look
we
at
got
Thunder,
here?
Blazers. What do we have? Is this the starting lineup?
Yeah, this is the starting
This
lineup.
is
let's
a feature
go.
game.
We got Vit Crucci. We got Theo Maladon, Isaiah Roby, Alexei Pokushevsky, and Aaron Wiggins.
Wow.
Yeah, Nuggets almost lost to that.
Moving
Oh,
Lindy
man.
Waters to the bench. Bold
Brandon
move.
Williams, Keon Johnson, Drew Eubanks, CJ Ellaby,
Dude.
and Elijah Hughes. Who's the best player in this five right here? This is a way worse team, by the way.
This is horrible.
Probably Eubanks.
Is it Eubanks?
no, it's not. He's just the guy that's been on teams, but he's not
Well,
good.
I
I
think
mean,
he might.
that's-
Who are the
Compared
other
to
guys?
the rest of these
Yeah,
four,
I don't know who they are, but I promise you one of them's better than Drew
It's
Eubanks.
I promise
CJ
you
Ellaby.
they're not.
Drew Eubanks is if like Mason Plumlee was 6'9".
Okay.
Same skill set, but just
Probably
shorter.
better than those other four players.
There's no chance.
Oh, it has
man.
to be.
There's no
Yeah.
chance.
It has to
He
be
is.
Eubanks.
He's just the one you guys know. The Miami Heat beat
I
the
know 'em all.
Sacramento Kings tonight. I don't know why. The Heat have been on a big slide, but they get a win. The Kings are terrible. This was into Miami as well.
It's a get-right game after almost fighting during a timeout.
A nice,
huddle.
get right game. The Nuggets' next opponent, the Indiana Pacers, fall to the Atlanta Hawks in Indianapolis tonight. I'm looking to see who had a big game to maybe carry momentum.
Bogdan.
Heald goes for 26. Halliburton went for 25. Nothing really to write home about in this game. 32 assists for the Pacers. That's kind of impressive.
I mean, I knew this at one time, but Buddy Hield on the Pacers, that just completely passed my mind that he's on the Pacers.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That was the trade.
Hey, the Pacers are getting real good at being bad. They're figuring that
Yeah.
out.
I will say,
got it
though,
down.
I'm looking at who played tonight. Here are your bigs. Goga Patazde,
Killer.
Justin Anderson.
He's a small kind
Did
of.
you wait?
Yeah,
He's a big?
Jalen Smith.
Justin Anderson?
Jalen Smith, I remember.
I'm
him.
trying to. I'm telling you, no, you guys don't understand. Everybody else was a guard.
Wow.
That's what I'm trying to say. Is like we're getting ready to go up, and they are going to throw a lineup. Like Sticks is like 180 pounds. He's tiny.
Buddy Hield was like their forward. He's like playing.
Yeah,
the forward.
he's taking on the PJ Dozier role.
Jokic needs to put 50 up tomorrow, or on Wednesday. He just needs to put up 50. That's a wild one there. And then the Cavaliers beat the Magic tonight, 107-101. Nobody really cares about that
Mobley
game.
left that game, but negative X-rays per Woj.
What did he hurt?
I don't remember.
All right.
Did Matt Ryan play for the Celtics tonight?
There's
Oh,
no way
that's
he got in
right.
the game, did he?
I know he was active. I don't know if he played or not.
He did not play, no.
Okay.
Only 8 guys played, but he went to overtime. Celtics went to overtime.
Yeah.
I mean, they're fighting for that 1 seed.
Yeah.
That's a tough break for them. We clown the Celtics all the time. I don't root for an injury.
Oh, no.
I root
that's
for them
not
to
cool.
choke, man.
Yeah.
But I don't want them to get.
I don't know
that
what
way.
vote roots for, but
But there you have
not
it.
injuries.
The
I
Warriors.
don't know.
Not injuries.
The Warriors falling apart. I mean, this close to the season is gonna be so good. It's right there for the taking for the Nuggets. Get that 6 seed. Hold on to that 6 seed. Maybe climb if you want, but just hold on to that 6 seed. And I'm telling you, there's such a good chance for a very interesting playoff run for this team, shorthanded and all.
Yeah.
And hopefully, I haven't fully given up hope on the Murray Porter return. One of, or maybe both of them. Hopefully, we get some news before too long. Get a win. Finish out this road trip with 2 wins. Get back to Denver for the big one, and let's see what happens.
the big one, the big game.
The big game. It's on a Friday.
The big game.
That does it. Hit that like button on the way out, everybody. Thank you for the super chats. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you guys tomorrow. I believe I'm having Prada on tomorrow for a little show. So see you guys. Mike Prada, very good writer. We'll see you guys tomorrow.